Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to today's Nimble training webinar. Today we're going to be going over all of Nimble's main features, plus our browser extension and email integration. So please type your questions into the questions box. We'll cover all your questions at the end of the webinar in our Q&A session. So to review, I just want to spend a minute to introduce Nimble, let you know what we're all about. So Nimble is an easy-to-use CRM that works for you in Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, and everywhere else you work. It automatically combines your contacts, communication histories, email inboxes, and calendar appointments. And what I mean by everywhere else you work is that we have our browser extension, Nimble Prospector, that's available on most big browsers. So if you're using Safari, Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, I believe we have one, maybe. Let me check. Well, I'll get to that in a second, but we have our browser extension that works for you in the places where you prospect or where you interact with your contacts. And by connecting your accounts, all of this key information will automatically be saved to your contact records and previous activities. Okay, so that being said, let's go straight into Nimble now. All right, so here we are at Nimble's Today page. And let me go full screen so you can see it better. Okay, let me move that. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so here we are at Nimble's Today page. This page was designed to allow you to completely customize it to your specific needs and the role you play in your company. Before the Today page starts populating with data, though, we have to make sure that we've connected everything we need to Nimble. And by the way, our current users or anyone in trial may notice that we've recently updated our look. The navigation bar used to be here at the top of the screen, but we've since moved it to the left side of the screen. And this was one of our first steps to making Nimble's UI more responsive so users can make the most of their screen, no matter how small it is. And this new UI also makes it easier to access help and settings. So if I click back in here, you can see they're at the bottom left of the screen. And you can click help to message our support team or even join a training webinar from the Nimble application. And also accessing our settings is going to be really important to make sure all of our contacts, or all of our accounts, sorry, are properly connected. And there are two ways to get to the networks and imports page, which is where we need to go. So like I said, you can access it through settings. And again, that's this button on the bottom left of the screen. And then you go to networks and imports. So that's one way you can access this page. Back to the Today page. The other way is that you can go to the top right-hand side of the screen. Click the little icon. For me, it has my first initial, but some people might have like a profile picture or like a little I think it stands for information. I'm just assuming. And you can click that button and then scroll down to networks and imports. And you can see it takes me to the same page. It's just a matter of personal preference, whichever one you'd like to use to get to this page. All right, so now that we're here, we can first make sure that your email account is connected to Nimble. Like I said, Nimble supports all email providers as long as they are IMAP. That's IMAP. We don't support POP. That's POP. But even if your email is POP, you can try contacting your email provider to see if they can enable IMAP for you. That being said, so here's where you can connect your email account. If you scroll down, you'll find buttons to connect your MS365 and Google accounts very quick and easily. So for MS365, you can connect your calendar and email and even import your contacts by making sure that these boxes are checked and then clicking the Connect Microsoft 365 button. And if you scroll down a little bit more, similarly for Google accounts, you can click that button and choose if you'd like to connect your calendars or connect your email and your contacts with these buttons here. And I want to take this opportunity to remind you to always tag the contacts that you import. We don't recommend importing all of your contacts at this stage. To start, you should make sure that you're only importing contacts that are absolutely necessary so that you don't clutter your database from the get-go. So back to connecting your accounts. Last up is social media. So if we scroll down to the bottom here, you can see that I already have my Twitter account connected. Nimble directly integrates with Twitter, so you can see your Twitter interactions with contacts as part of your contact records. And I can show you what that looks like a little bit later. But in the meantime, if you scroll down to the bottom of the Networks and Imports page, this is where you can connect your Twitter account. Okay, so Nimble also works on other social media platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn with their browser extension, Nimble Prospector. And I'll show you how that looks a little later on as well. Speaking of LinkedIn, it's possible to import your LinkedIn connections by downloading a CSV file and uploading it to Nimble through our CSV import wizard. Let me scroll up to show you where that is. So right here, this little button in Quick Connect that says CSV, that's how you're going to access it. And my colleague Julie is going to send a link to a support article by LinkedIn on how to download your connections as a CSV file. CSV files are a great and convenient way to import your contacts since many companies track their important contacts in spreadsheets. Before you import your CSV file, you can either first make sure that all of the column names in the spreadsheet correspond with the names of the fields in Nimble, or you can manually map them upon import. Now, if you're transitioning from a different CRM or importing contacts from LinkedIn, it's very likely that we have a saved mapping to save you time on mapping these fields manually. And again, when you're importing contacts, just please remember to add tags to all of them. What the tags say will depend on you and your processes, but you can tag them by date, source, uploader name, etc. Just make sure that you have some way to look back on when contacts were created and who uploaded them so you can more easily keep them organized. Also, tagging contacts is a really good habit to start getting used to really early on your CRM journey. Okay, so that covers importing your contacts and connecting your accounts. And again, I'll cover questions in the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions on that, feel free to leave them in the questions box. Now that your emails and calendars are connected and your contacts have been imported, the Today page will be populated with all of this valuable business information. The Today page is completely customizable, so you and everybody else in your company can pick what widgets they want to see. To do this, you can either click on this Manage Widgets button on the top right, and you can see that it opens up this kind of interface here. And you can click these 6 dots to click and drag your widgets to customize your view. So close that. Or alternatively, on the right-hand side of each widget, you have these 3 dots, and you can click them to move your widgets, hide them, or duplicate them. You have the ability to move widgets around, so the ones that are the most important to you, like your calendars, tasks, email tracking, and deals, are at the top. So let's go and talk about each one of these. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So here we have the call logging. And again, since it's customizable, these widgets might be in different places for you. But the call logging has like this little pink, or I guess it's like a light red phone icon. And with this widget, you can track all your interactions with your customers and contacts to help stay on top of follow-ups, improve your relationships, and measure your team's success. Next up is custom activities. And this widget will allow you to display all your pending, completed, and overdue custom activities. Scrolling up now, we have the Deals widget, and you can check the status of your deals and overall pipeline while taking progressive action directly from your dashboard. You can click to access engagement history and current insights on key contacts, update deal statuses, add notes to existing deals, or create new deals, all from this little widget here. Scrolling down, we have the stage funnel widget, and this will allow you to track your sales funnel. You can monitor your active prospects, leads, and opportunities at each stage to see a quick overview of your stages to know where you need to focus to meet your goals. Right below it for me would be the pipeline chart. And this widget shows all of your deals organized by date. The color coding on each bar gives you a visual of the amount for the deals you're managing by the stage they're in for that month. And you can also change the view from weighted to total or change the time frame. Next up, we have the tasks widget. And this is basically just a to-do list for you. It'll help you to follow through on all of your to-dos, see your open tasks, upcoming, overdue, completed, important tasks, as well as the rest of your team's tasks. And you can access that by clicking this drop-down menu. As you can see, you have all these different options for your individual tasks or your team's tasks as a whole. Right above that for me, I have the events widget, and this is just a calendar to show you all of your upcoming events. And you can select the drop-down menu to either see all of the calendars connected to Nimble or just your calendar. And you can also create new events from this widget as well. In the signals widget, looks like my Twitter account might need to refresh, but this is where you would find your Twitter interactions. And then last up, we have the highlighted contacts widget, and this will give you the option to see important contacts based on the parameters you've set, such as title, location, company, or interests. To personalize the suggestions for your highlighted contacts, you can edit the search criteria within contact keywords in your Nimble settings, and I'll show you how to get there. So you can go down to settings in the bottom left of your screen, just click that, and then in this menu here, go down to highlighted contacts. Oh my gosh, this is so much easier than before. Okay, yeah, I'm just like geeking out over this new UI. I actually really love it. Anyway, so you can edit the highlighted contacts keywords here. As you can see, they're all separated by commas. So if, for example, I want to not look for influencers anymore, I can just double click the word and then also highlight the comma, delete that, and delete the space. And now it'll only look for these keywords. Just click update. There you go. It's not looking for influencers anymore. If you want to add a new keyword, just go into this text editor, separate it with a comma, and then type a new keyword. So maybe real estate. I'll update that. And now my highlighted contacts will show me people who have real estate, like the words real estate in their bio, their like anywhere in like their job titles, etc. It'll look for these criteria anywhere in the contact record, and if it shows up, then the highlighted contacts will suggest that for you on your dashboard. All right, and with that being said, this can bring us to the contacts page. So here we are. The contacts page will probably be the one that you use the most. As part of our recent UI update, the menu panel in the contacts tab is now collapsible. So here we have our contacts list tab. If you click this button here, you can collapse it just like that. And this is great because now you can see more information about your contacts at a glance. You don't have to, well, to see like all of this, you don't have to use this side scroll bar anymore. So let me open that back up. So in this menu panel, you can easily see all of your contacts, just people, companies, your important contacts. You can also see your recently viewed and added, recently contacted, people you've set stay in touch reminders for, and also the people that you've removed. And for the removed contacts, the account admin can actually set how many days they will allow the deleted contacts to stay in this folder. So if maybe you made a mistake and you deleted a bunch of people that you didn't want to, the account admin can make it so that they stay in that folder for maybe like a week, so that within that week you still have time to correct that. So let's now review what an individual contact record looks like in Nimble. So let's go to my important contacts and let's pick John. So as you may know, John is Nimble's founder and CEO. So here on his contact record, you can see all of his basic information at the top over here in this little box. You can see his picture, his name, the title and company, and a short bio here. It's really easy from here to log notes just by clicking this. You'll open up this beautiful little box. You can log past activities. Let me close that. And you can also schedule future activities from these two boxes here. You can send a Twitter DM or an email. And you can also add them to a deal, just like that. Also, similar to the Today page, the contact record is also customizable. The three dots at the top right of the left panel, right here next to this little edit icon, if you click that, you can click reorder and edit left panel widgets. So that's right here. And as you can see, it kind of opens up that same click and drag interface as on the Today page. I like how this looks right now, so I'm just going to leave that as is. All right, so if we scroll down to the other information on the contact record, you can see that you have the ability to set up privacy here with this little padlock icon. Contacts can be private, shared with everyone on your team, viewable by anyone, and you can also set up privacy groups. Now, privacy groups are really useful if you want each of your teams or departments to have different sets of permissions, and this can really speed up onboarding. So, for example, every time you're adding a new sales rep to your team in Nimble, you can just add them to your sales team settings and they'll have the same set of permissions as previously determined. You don't have to do it for every single person you onboard. So back to the contact record, you can also set up stay in touch reminders. We have all these different time intervals, weekly, monthly, quarterly, annually, or you can set a custom time period. So for example, you could do bi-weekly or every 3 weeks or even every 3 days if you're feeling ambitious. And another useful feature is the ability to assign a contact owner. So right now I have it set to myself. I could leave it unassigned or give it to a team member. You can also review, edit, and create new tags. So let's scroll down. Here we are at tags. If you click edit tags, you can delete existing ones or add new ones. I don't have a lot of tags saved on this account, but if I wanted to tag John as a T name, I can do that and just save that, or I can tag him as something that doesn't exist and it'll automatically create a new tag. So for example, maybe I could put owner. So I don't have the tag owner, but if I click enter and save, it'll save it as a new tag. Okay, so that's tags. All right. You can also, so on the right-hand side of the contact record, let's go back up now. Under interactions, you'll see the entire history of interactions you've had with this person, including all notes, emails, Twitter messages, and deals, and any activities. The main interactions tab can be a little bit overwhelming since it's like literally everything that you've done with this contact. So if you want to narrow down your view, we have these other tabs on the side. So in activities, this only shows certain past activities, and you can narrow it down even further with this drop-down menu. So if you only wanted to see the calls that you've had with this person, you can do that here. You can also see the notes that you've taken on them. Here in Messages, this includes all of your emails and Twitter DMs. And then lastly, we have the Deals tab, which shows all of their active deals. Or not necessarily active, just all of their deals. Okay, so to the right of the Interactions tab, we have the Data Fields tab. And in this tab, you can create a bunch of custom tabs, and under them, you can create custom fields. And all of these fields can then be segmented. It's ideal to use for any specific information you'd like to record. And data fields can be configured in Settings. So let's go back down to Settings over here. And in this menu, let's pick Data Fields. So here, you can customize all of your data fields. So back to the contact record, go to John. Okay, so in the Files tab, here you can see that you can also upload and associate files to contact records from your computer. We also support OneDrive, Google Drive, and Dropbox. Okay, so going back to the main contacts page, let's talk about our segmentation feature. Now you can launch segmentation by either clicking into the main search box on the top of the page. So here, segment search, or you can click this plus add segment and it takes you to the same screen. You can now search across many data fields to help you organize your contacts into lists. And once you've organized your contacts into a list, you can take bulk actions, send group messages, and set follow-up tasks. As an example, let's create a search using the following criteria. So I'm going to click plus add contact filter, and let's do email is not empty. And that's just a long way of saying that they have an email on record. Okay, so here's everyone whose email I have on file. This is a lot of people, so maybe I'll add another one. Let's do, can we do that? No. Let's do last contacted by my team. There we go. So now we have people who have contacted recently. Okay, so once you have your search, you can take several actions, like you can make the entire or mark the entire list as important. Oh, and to do these bulk actions, you would want to make sure this button here is checked. So everyone is selected. So by clicking the star button, you can mark them as important or not important. You can add tags, set stay in touch reminders with the same time periods or a custom time period. And we also have other actions like these here. You can also add them to a workflow from here. And I'll show you more on workflows in a bit. You can also merge them. I don't recommend doing that unless you are sure that you want to. You can export them to CSV, MailChimp, or vCard. And the most important one that I want to show you is that you can send a group message, which takes us to our group messaging feature. Ooh, if it'll load. There we go. Okay, so here we are with Nimble's group messaging. This is a great way to send targeted sales outreach or marketing messages to lists of your contacts. And the most common question that we get about Nimble's group messaging is if it could replace using a marketing automation system. And the simple answer for that is no. Our group messaging was designed to be used in conjunction with our segmentation feature to allow you to send targeted email outreach. The biggest advantage of Nimble's group messaging is that the messages are sent from your personal email address, so they'll appear as if they were sent from you, not an email marketing system. So when composing emails in the group messaging window, you have the option to use merge tags. This kind of goes back to making it feel more personal. So if I click plus, add merge tag, and then put first name, you can see it looks like this right now, but when it shows up in your contacts inbox, it's going to read as their first name. So for example, if I have this and I send this to a person named Isabel, this is going to turn into Isabel instead. So you can customize it and say, hi, Isabel, comma, or hi, Tom, comma, etc. So once you create your email, you have the option to save it as a template to save time on retyping the same message again in the future, as well as pick from any existing templates. And you can access them through these buttons up here. So to select a template, you can just click this drop-down menu. And if you like how your email looks, you can save it as a new template. Also, to set up your signature, let me show you how to do that real quick. Again, we're going to go back to Settings, and then go to Email Settings. And then finally, we're going to go to Email Signature. And from this little box here, you can either just create a new one from scratch or copy and paste existing email signature. And just click Save when you're done. So let's go back to Group Messages. Oh, where'd it go? Well, I guess it didn't save as a draft, but anyway, after you send your group message, you can review the insights on their clicks and opens, and in that report, you can see how many people opened your message, how many of them clicked on the links you included, and how many people haven't opened your message yet. And you can use these insights to follow up with people and send them another message or take other actions. And that's group messaging. So next up, we're going to go over activities. Here on the activities page, you can see an overview of all activities, scheduled and completed. In the agenda tab, which is where we are right now, you can view a comprehensive list of all activities. Oops, sorry. Nope. That's not right. In the agenda tab, you can see your scheduled activities and schedule more with the plus add activities button. So in the list view, you can view a comprehensive list of all activities. The table columns can be configured to quickly see which data is important to you. And additionally, activities can be exported. You'll also be able to select the team members for whom you'd like to create the report on the left-hand side. So just click those little icon bubbles. You can just check which ones you'd like to see. You can also pick which activities you want to see specifically and select the time frame on the right-hand side of the screen. So that's right here with these quick filters. You can configure the table to only focus on specific fields. And finally, when you're done creating your report, you can click on the Export button on the top here. Okay, there's not much to see on activities right now, so let's go over to workflows. So this new feature, which is an extension of lead pipelines, enables you and your team to visualize the progress of your contacts through people-related projects and processes. You can utilize the customizable Kanban boards to create multiple pipelines and stages that suit your business needs. So here you see I have this influencer relationships one. I also have a leads pipeline one. You can have as many pipelines as you need. And you can make them exactly how you want them to be. So to set up your workflow so that it reflects your internal processes, let's visit the settings at the top right corner. And then once you're here, you can click plus add new workflow. and you can start the process of creating a new workflow. Now, since this feature is meant to be used by a wide variety of teams and departments, we created a huge selection of pre-built templates to make tracking your processes very, very easy. Some of these include accounting, so we have this past due accounts receivable template. If we go to the job search, we even have like a job search workflow. Marketing, we have influencer outreach, PR outreach. We also have networking workflows, real estate workflows, sales, support, basically any main activities. So you can also skip the templates if none of these seem to suit your fancy, and you can create a workflow from scratch. So just click that plus create from scratch button. I already have one set up, so I'm just going to use this as an example. So when you're editing your workflow, you have the option to edit your stages. So if you click the pen icon here, you can give your stage a name, and you can even give it instructions. And then once you are satisfied, just make sure to click Save Changes. Okay, so let's go back to workflows. So when your workflow is complete, you can start adding contacts and tracking your people-related processes. So let's go back to the influencer relationships one. So you can add new and existing contacts to your workflows by clicking the plus add contact button on the top left here. You can just enter their name here and search for an existing contact. You can also create a new contact from here as well, and also add a new company. To move people through your workflow, you can simply click and drag their cards to the different stages. So by that I mean, I'm just going to click on Jacob here, and you see as I start moving him around, it kind of like shows this card kind of tilted like that. That means you can start moving it. So I've already identified him and done some research, so I'm going to put him here. You can also move people around by clicking the 3 dots on the contact card. And again, you can move them by clicking this Move To button and then selecting the stage. Or you can exit them successfully or unsuccessfully, or simply just remove them from the workflow. The difference between these is that exiting successful or unsuccessful will be recorded. Removing them from the workflow, maybe like you put someone into a workflow by mistake and you just want to correct that mistake, you can just simply remove them like that. And from here, you can also convert them to a deal, which is a great segue into our Deals tab. Okay, so let's go to Deals. Okay, so now that we're on the Deals tab, here is where you can manage your sales. So you can manage sales opportunities, marketing projects, regular projects, renewals, and more. Nimble allows you to create as many pipelines as you need. The account owner can delegate permissions to different users to be able to configure and create pipelines. To create a new pipeline or add an existing one, you can go to Customize Pipelines up here, and that's in the top left corner. To create a brand new pipeline, just click on the plus, add deal pipeline, and then you can name it and start creating the individual pipeline stages. So I'm just going to use this real estate sales pipeline that I already have created. All right, so here you can see that you can click and drag the stages of this pipeline. And if you click the edit range, you can change the name of the stage, or you can change the limit of the days in the stage. Right now I have it set to 15, but I can just backspace and then make that 30 and save. So now the limit is 30 days. All right, and Nimble also gives you the option to add the amount ranges. So you can just click that there, and you can go in and edit those as well. So let's go back to the pipeline itself. To create a new deal, you just click this button here, New Deal, in the top left corner. And here you have the option to name the deal, relate the deal to multiple contacts and companies, add the valued amount for the deal, schedule an expected close date, project the probability of closing, and choose the beginning stage for your deal. You can also add comments here as well. There are a lot of customizing options for this here. To export your deals from Nimble, you can click the Export to CSV button. Again, that's in the top left corner. And you'll be able to choose which deals you'd like to export. You can do all of them, active, won, and lost. And you can also export lists based on deals owned by specific team members by clicking this drop-down menu and just clicking the team member that you'd like to see the deals for. And then just click Export when you're done. And finally, for the main Nimble app, we have reports. So Nimble enables you to build reports for specific pipelines for your team as a whole or by an individual user during any time period you select. So choose from one of our preset time periods or use the calendar at the top of the page to set your own. So we have these presets here. And if you click this calendar, you can see that it opens this up. And you could just click like that and it'll change the time period. The dashboard, which is where we are right now, is where you can view yourself and your team members' deal progress at a glance. Forecasted deals right underneath the dashboard will show you all future deal outlooks. And finally, deals history or deal history is where you may view all historic deal results sorting by time intervals. And right now there's nothing here, sorry, but this is where you would see deal history. Okay, so we've covered all of the main features in Nimble. So let's now take a look at how you can use our browser extension and email add-ons to access Nimble from the places where you probably spend the most time in. So let's get out of this full screen view. All right, oops, hold on. Okay, so here we have the Nimble Prospector page. Here you can see that Nimble Prospector is a browser extension that's available on Firefox, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, and we also have the Outlook add-in, and you can access those all through here. And Julie, if you could send this link in the chat, that would be awesome. Nimble Prospector works on any website, in any third-party application, and on any social media platform. That being said, let's see how it works on LinkedIn. Let me just go and open up LinkedIn real quick. Okay, here we go. All right, so Nimble Prospector will allow you to create new contact records and update existing ones straight from LinkedIn or, like I said, anywhere on the web. So first, let's make sure that Prospector is open. In Chrome, I'm going to click on the Nimble icon at the very top right-hand corner, and this should appear once you have the extension downloaded. So once Prospector is open, there are a couple ways that I can check on contacts or add new ones. So let me scroll down a little bit. All right, here, let's pick on Justin. Okay, so one way to add a new contact is to hover over a hyperlinked name. I didn't click it or anything, I just put my mouse or my cursor over their name. And you can see that Nimble generated this contact record. And since I don't have Justin as a contact already, I have the option to add a new contact here. Another way to have Nimble generate a contact record for you is by highlighting their full name, just like that. And as you can see, it does something similar. I highly recommend, if you have the capability to use like the hyperlinked method, because it generates better data typically. So I'm going to go into their contact record and click plus, add contact. And now you can see that in Nimble Prospector, we have basically all of the information that you would have in the contact record, just in this little compact browser extension view. And also, by the way, you can change the side that Nimble Prospector appears on by clicking this button here, right on top of your profile icon. So it says toggle position. Right now I have it on the right, but I can move it to the left like that. Again, customizable to suit your preferences. I like having mine on the right, so I'm going to keep that right there. All right. And lastly, I want to show you how Nimble Prospector works in Gmail. So here I am in Gmail. Let's open up, where is it? Sorry. Okay, yeah, I'll open up this email. And since I have Nimble Prospector downloaded already, once I open an email, Prospector will automatically open up on the right-hand side like this, and it'll give me the contact information for the sender of the email. So if I click into this profile, again, you can see everything that you can see on the regular contact record, just in this smaller view. Like I mentioned earlier, this looks pretty much the same in Outlook, so no worries there. The only difference would be where this little Nimble icon appears on your screen. I believe in Outlook it should be around here, kind of like the top middle of your screen. All right, so that covers all of Nimble's main features. Now, before we get started with the Q&A, I do have a couple of final announcements. So we do have a special offer for new users. If you sign up today, you can get 30 days of Nimble for free by clicking this link. It's nimble.com/offers/webinar30. And Julie, if you could send that in the chat, that'd be awesome. And we also invite you to join the Nimble community online. You can follow us on social media to stay updated on all things Nimble, and you can find us on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. And we also recently made a LinkedIn product community page, which is where our users can share tips with each other and also learn directly from the team. We post tech tips every Tuesday, and we also share other things related to any of the industries that you're all in. So I definitely recommend joining that group to learn more about Nimble kind of regularly on LinkedIn. Okay, with all that being said, now it's time for questions. So I'm going to open up questions right now. All right, so first question, Concho is asking if we are working with a group of clients as a team and we want to view the group of clients that have an updated note or task, what is the best way to do that? That is, what is the best way for one of my team members to see the group of clients with an updated file? So you can actually tag add a tag to the contacts so that all you have to do is search up the tag to access the group. Now, if you add a task or note to one of the contacts in this group, you'll see at the bottom the option to add related contacts. So let me see if I can show you how to do that. Oops, sorry, ignore that. Let's go back to Nimble. Okay. All right, so, not really sure how exactly I would show you how to do that without adding a bunch of contacts to my page. But I think that adding tags will be really useful to help you keep your contacts organized. So if someone updates a contact, you can also add to the process that they add a tag so you can view that. There are different ways to do it, but that is one of the ways. I think that also it might be helpful to reach out to our support team for like specific questions like this, and they can kind of walk you through the exact process that you would need to do. Sorry if that wasn't too helpful right now, but I do hope that like the tags thing answered your question. So Erica is asking, if we already have 500 plus contacts and want to upload our entire email list, will Nimble automatically sort out repeats? So we won't automatically sort out duplicates, but you can merge duplicates by searching the contact's name. So I don't really have any duplicates, I think, but if you search a name like, for example, a common name like John, you can search by keyword. Sorry, it's taking a little bit to load. But theoretically, if you have duplicates, you can search up the name. But also, I do want to note that in Nimble, when you upload contacts, Nimble will automatically merge contacts that have the same email address. So you can avoid having duplicates that way, but if you have multiple email addresses, then it might get a little bit confusing and you'd have to search the name directly. But just know that if the duplicates have the exact same email address, then Nimble will automatically merge them. And I hope that answers your question. Simi is asking, how does the merge tag in group messaging work? So let's go back to group messaging. I don't need a specific group, so I'll just, oh, there it is. I'll just proceed. Oh, okay. Okay, so back to merge tags. Merge tags will personalize the group message for each recipient. So when you're creating a group message, you can click this add merge tag and then click if you'd like to address them by first name, their last name, their title, company name. So let's go with first name again. So let me add some recipients. So let's do Michaela and John and Timothy, and maybe do one more. Let's do Kiki. Is she here? No, she's not. Let's do Isabel instead, sorry. Okay, so let's do Isabel. So here you can see all of the contacts in this group message. Right now in the message, it says this F name tag, but when this appears in their inbox, instead of saying this, it's going to say Michaela in Michaela's inbox or John in John's inbox. And this is really helpful so that you don't have to go in and send individual messages. You don't have to like redo the email every single time. You can just send one email and it'll automatically change who you're addressing based on whose inbox it's showing up in. I hope that makes sense. But basically, it's just a way of customizing your emails. All right, John is saying highlighting is equal to hyperlinking in Prospector for best results. Oh wait, sorry. Yes, you can highlight and it'll do basically the same thing. So let's pick on another contact, maybe let's do Dima. So if I highlight his name like this, if I go back, you see it'll create this new contact record. But if I go in and like hover over a hyperlinked name like this, it'll give me more details. Since it's kind of picking from something that is already linked, we have more information to work on. So here you can see by doing this, Sergey has this whole bio, and I have his social media information and a profile picture. If I'm simply highlighting a name like this, yes, it automatically creates a new contact record, but you can see there's not nearly as much information in this one as there was in the other one. It just has like their name and the ability to add them as a contact In the contact record, you can kind of pick the social profiles that are generated, but they don't automatically show up like they do when you just hover over a name like this. So I highly recommend going with this hovering over technique instead of highlighting if you can, but the highlighting is useful if there is just no way to find a hyperlinked name, which is a pretty common case for, say, like Instagram or maybe Facebook. Sometimes they won't be hyperlinked. So I hope that helps. Erica's asking if we have around 20,000 contacts to upload, is there a best way to do this? So when you initially integrate Nimble with your email provider, you'll have the option to sync your contacts and continuously sync on a weekly basis. And Julie actually has a really helpful support article for this. So if you haven't already, could you please send that? Thank you. Sue's asking, could you explain weighted? So I think you're talking about this pipeline chart here. So we have weighted and total. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure how I can explain this. Analytics aren't exactly my forte, but total versus weighted. Yeah, I wouldn't really be able to tell you. I'm sorry. I think that weighted would actually, I'm not even going to try to pretend I know the answer. I'm really sorry. I don't actually know for this one, but I think it's like an analytics thing. Let me see a quick Google search. So weighted versus total. Yeah, I can't find a quick answer. I'm really sorry. I can direct you to our care team and they can probably give you a more in-depth answer, but right now I can't really seem to find the answer right away. Sorry about that. Okay, last question that I see right now is Erica's asking, does this provide SMS options? Unfortunately, we don't have SMS options available at the moment, but we are working to update our mobile application, so that could be in the works. And definitely follow us on social media to keep updated with that. Okay, I think that's it for questions now. So before I go, I just want to thank you all again for joining us for today's webinar. Shortly after this webinar, you'll receive the recording in an email. And if you have any other questions, comments, feedback, anything like that, you can reply to the email or reach out to care@nimble.com and we'll get to you as soon as we can. All right, that being said, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.